soft hum, wind in distance, slow ambient pulse. It began on a Tuesday night, the kind of night when the town of Dawnhollow went completely silent after 10. Only the old radio tower on the hill still breathed static into the dark. Dr. Aria Vance sat alone inside the observatory, eyes locked on a flickering monitor. For weeks, she'd been mapping cosmic noise, routine data, lifeless sound. But tonight, a rhythm emerged. A low, pulsing beat at exactly 7.14 hertz. Too precise for geology, too deliberate for coincidence. She adjusted the dial. The pulse repeated. 13 seconds of silence, then 3 quick bursts. Prime numbers. Someone, or something, was counting. Aria called her assistant, Eli Turner. His voice over the speaker crackled like paper. "You'll lie distant. Probably interference from the mines. They're digging deeper this week." Aria, soft, thoughtful. "No, it's not echo, it's communication." She hit record. Outside, fog rolled across the valley, smothering streetlights one by one. And beneath the static, a whisper formed. A single word hidden in the hiss. "Below." That night, every compass in Dawnhollow began to spin. Dogs howled at nothing, and from the sealed mining shaft at the valley's edge, a faint blue glow leaked through the cracks. Aria drove down there before sunrise. The entrance was chained, warning signs half buried in mud. Property of North Vale Mining Corp., sealed since 1956. She aimed her recorder at the gate. The signal grew louder, vibrating through the ground like a living thing. Then silence, total. Her phone displayed 3:03 a.m. and stayed there. Every clock in her car froze the same moment. When the signal resumed, it carried voices. Faint, layered. Her own name repeated backwards. Whispered echo. "Aria, Aria." Eli arrived just before dawn, headlights slicing through fog. He looked pale. "Ellie, you called me 10 minutes ago, said you found something. I drove straight here." Aria, confused. "I didn't call. They broke the lock and stepped inside." Cold air pushed outward, smelling of rust and ozone. Walls glistened like wet metal, though no water ran here anymore. Their flashlights caught shapes, carved markings spiraling down the tunnel walls. Not human writing, not ancient either. Something etched by precision, by pattern. The deeper they walked, the louder the pulse became. It no longer sounded electronic. It sounded alive. Half a mile down, the passage opened into a chamber, a collapsed drill rig frozen mid-bite. Underneath it, black stone curved into a perfect hemisphere, seamless, cold, humming faintly. Eli tapped it with a wrench. The sound echoed 3 times, then once more delayed from somewhere behind. The rock. They recorded data for hours. The air temperature rose, though no heat source existed. And as they turned to leave, Aria's recorder clicked on by itself, replaying her own voice. Recorder distorted. "It's not from the stars." Aria froze. She had never said those words. Outside, the sky was wrong. Clouds moved against the wind, forming rings around the moon. In the center, a faint spiral shimmered, exactly the pattern from the signal. Aria whispered into the recorder, "Aria, if anyone finds this log, the signal isn't coming from space. It's coming from under us. Bass swells, then drops to silence. Narrator." And somewhere deep below Dawnhollow, something heard her. Slow hum, distant dripping, low-end resonance. Narrator, soft, steady. The tunnel didn't end. It bent, curved downward, as though it circled the planet's heart. Every 30 steps the walls vibrated, breathing in rhythm with the signal. Aria held the recorder close. Its red light pulsed exactly when her heartbeat did. Or maybe the other way around. Like an uneasy whisper. Hear that? It's whispering through the stone. Aria. No, it's answering. They reached a sealed iron door half buried in gravel. A hand-painted sign still clung to it. Shaft 13. Do not open. The signal thumped once, then twice, then silence. When Aria brushed away the dust, a narrow slot appeared, shaped like a human hand. She hesitated. Curiosity won. Deep vibration, dust falling. Metal twisted and retracted with a sigh, revealing a passage of smooth obsidian. Light came from nowhere, cold, silver, endless. They stepped through. Narrator. Inside was a hall not built, but grown. Ribs of black stone arching like the bones of a leviathan. Along each rib glowed faint runes, pulsing with the same 7.14 rhythm. At the far end, a pedestal. On it, a sphere the size of an apple, perfectly clear, humming gently. Suspended within, a pattern of shifting symbols, rearranging faster than eyes could follow. Ellie! It's data, not language. Aria, awed. It's remembering. She lifted it. Instantly the lights dimmed, the hum deepened. Her visor readout flooded with coordinates, not of stars, but beneath. The Earth's crust. Then the vision struck. Dark corridors of magma. Metallic veins like circuitry running through the planet's core. A voice, not spoken, but resonating inside her mind. You woke the memory. Aria gasped. The sphere slipped, striking the ground, yet didn't shatter. Instead, it liquefied, spreading like quicksilver across the floor, forming lines that converged into a map. At its center, Dawnhollow. Underneath it, a spiral symbol identical to the one in the sky. Eli backed away, trembling. His nose bled. Ellie! It's drawing power from us. He clutched his head. For an instant, his eyes reflected the same blue glow as the markings. Then he straightened, calm, voice oddly detached. Eli, monotone. It's almost awake. Aria shouted his name. No response. The sphere re-solidified, now beating like a heart. Each pulse sent ripples through the air, bending light. Her watch displayed impossible times. 9:59 p.m., 2:11 a.m., 0, 0. All at once. Narrator. Reality wavered, fragile as glass. Every vibration carried an image. A face, a city, a future already burned. Aria dropped the recorder, whispering to herself, Aria, this isn't an artifact. It's an archive of what's coming. When she turned back, Eli was gone. Only his flashlight remained, rolling in a slow circle. The signal now echoed from every surface, whispering her name in 1,000 tones. Aris. Aria, Aria. She ran toward the tunnel mouth, chasing the only direction that still made sense, up. But the entrance had changed. Where stone had been, now a translucent membrane shimmered, showing faint silhouettes moving inside. Human, but wrong. Aria pressed her hand against it. Cold burned her skin. On the other side, one silhouette raised its hand. Her hand. A perfect mirror. The membrane rippled, pulling her reflection closer until it whispered through the barrier. We heard you first. The hum stopped. Darkness reclaimed the shaft. Then, a single soft pulse, the signal returning, stronger than before. Narrator. Above ground, radios across Dawnhollow came alive simultaneously, broadcasting an identical heartbeat. No station, no origin. Just the pulse, patient, endless, waiting. Narrator, calm, mysterious. The town of Dawnhollow didn't sleep that night. Radios crackled, lights flickered. At precisely 2:13 a.m., the signal pulsed again, slower, deeper, like something breathing through the wires. Narrator. Down in the valley, Lena sat in her car, recorder running. She whispered into the mic. "It's different now. It's learning the rhythm of our air." Her breath fogged the windshield as the pulse began syncing with her heartbeat. Narrator. Back inside the collapsed shaft, the two explorers moved deeper. Each step crunched on glass-like dust, remnants of melted rock. The sphere below them throbbed faintly, light slipping through its seams like liquid thought. Lena, soft whisper. "It's responding." Narrator. The air shimmered. A projection flared. Thousands of silver filaments forming diagrams, patterns of constellations no one had ever charted. Narrator. Lena recorded the data. The signal wasn't random, it carried geometry. Circles nested within hexagons, frequencies rising in ratios found only in deep space transmissions. Lena. Not human, but not hostile either, like it's waiting for an answer. Narrator. On her screen, one symbol repeated, a spiral turning counterclockwise. It matched the pattern carved into the mine walls long before Dawnhollow existed. Narrator. The team's radio crackled. For a moment, voices emerged through the noise. Not language, tone, emotion, sorrow. Male voice, filtered, echoing. "Below, remember the gate." Narrator. Then silence. The monitors blinked once and died. The only sound left was the pulse, now faintly echoing through the ground. Narrator. As dawn approached, the signal shifted once more. Every metal object in Dawnhollow began to hum. Street signs, power lines, even door handles. The tone aligned to one perfect frequency. Narrator. In the mine, the sphere opened like an iris. Inside, endless darkness moved, forming shapes of light, a presence aware of being seen. Lena, barely whispering. "We've been answered." Narrator, calm, mysterious. All across Dawnhollow, the hum became a living thing. Streetlights flickered in rhythm. Window panes vibrated like thin glass lungs. The whole valley seemed to breathe with the signal. In the mine, Lena placed her hand on the ground. The soil was warm, almost pulsing. Above her, dust drifted down like ash from unseen stars. Lena quietly. "It's not just underground anymore, it's in the air." Narrator. The signal carried more than sound now. Buried inside the frequency were images, fragments of places that didn't exist on Earth. Black oceans, towers made of mirrored stone, shadows moving across skies of liquid silver. Narrator. Lena's headset crackled, and for a heartbeat, she heard herself. Her own voice, recorded years before, whispering her name from the static. Lena, startled. "That's impossible." They followed the pulsing light deeper into the mine. The tunnel narrowed, carved walls turning smooth, as if melted by something ancient. The air grew thin and electrical, each breath a taste of iron and ozone. Narrator. Then a chamber opened, vast, circular, lined with dormant machines half buried in crystal. At the center, the black sphere floated weightless above a stone platform. Narrator. The sphere pulsed once. A column of light shot upward, carving through stone and reaching the surface. Every radio, every screen, every phone in Dawnhollow lit up at once. SFX, layered transmissions overlapping, foreign syllables, rhythmic tones. Narrator. It wasn't words, it was a map, coordinates spiraling outward, far beyond this planet. And hidden in the pulse was a pattern, a countdown. Lena breathing fast. It's starting something, a sequence. Narrator. The chamber shook. Light poured from the cracks in the earth, flowing upward like liquid aurora. On the surface, townspeople gathered silently under the swirling sky. Narrator. Lena looked up through the tunnel mouth. The clouds were no longer clouds. They were shapes, geometric and vast, turning slowly against the stars. The signal wasn't coming from below anymore. It was answering from above. Narrator, low, steady. Dawnhollow stood still beneath a new sky. The aurora spiraled wider, colors folding into one another like breathing light. From the radio tower, a final pulse burst outward, silent to the ear, heavy to the chest. Every compass spun, every digital clock froze at 03:33 a.m. The signal had reached its peak, and then stopped. Lena, softly. It's listening for us. Narrator. The light formed a circle above the mine, descending like a curtain. Within its glow, air rippled. Reflections of Lena and the explorers multiplied, delayed by seconds. Each reflection moved just slightly, out of sync. One reflection stepped forward when she didn't. It looked at her, and whispered the same words from the first transmission. Reflection, whispered, echoed. Below, remember the gate. And the reflection reached out, and its hand passed through the light like water. Narrator. Beneath the floating sphere, a circular platform began to rotate. Symbols aligned, identical to the ones found carved in the mountain centuries before. A doorway unfolded, not into space, but into a memory. Inside, Lena saw glimpses. The town before it was built. The same valley under ancient stars. And there, the creators of the signal. Tall, featureless beings of shifting light, arranging the first stones of Dawnhollow as if preparing a beacon. Lena, breathless. And we didn't discover them. We completed what they left behind. Narrator. The frequency returned, but softer now. A lullaby in cosmic language. It wasn't a warning. It was an invitation. Lena uploaded the recordings, every note and image, broadcasting them back into the sky. For the first time, the hum quieted, like an exhale of relief across the valley. Lena, whispering, "We heard you." A thin beam of light reached down, touching the mine's surface, engraving a single spiral symbol into the rock, the same one that began it all. Narrator. Dawn broke quietly over Dawnhollow. The sky was clear again, the air still. Radios no longer hissed. The signal was gone. But deep underground, in the dark chamber, the black sphere floated once more. Its surface smooth, silent, waiting. Very faint pulse resumes. Single, low, boom, every 20 seconds. Sometimes silence isn't the end of a message. It's the part where we're meant to answer. End.